It's easy to think that the more things you do right or properly in the recording studio will get you a better vocal. But this is really, really not true. Here are 3 things you should not do that you're probably doing in order to get way better vocal recordings and way better performances.
Brand new spanking new, marching forward, hypocritic and hypnotic computers. You depend on our protection, yet you feed us lies from the table bar. What the hell is set apart? La 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 la.
Now we're talking about getting great recorded vocals here. If you would like more help working with your voice so that you can then make great recorded vocals, click the link below and join my free course. Number 1, don't obsess over proper mic technique. Don't concern yourself about, am I maintaining an ideal distance between my lips and the microphone? Or should I use a popper stopper? Or should I not use a popper stopper? Or should I sit? Should I stand? Just look at some of these masters at work and take special note of the lots of variety you see in terms of mic proximity and technique.
Something's wrong, something like heavy thoughts tonight. Never to return.
Only God knows that is hallelujah. It's hallelujah.
Kurt Cobain recorded an amazing vocal performance while laying down.
Something in the way.
Really good miking technique with really good gear might get you better sound. Of course, that's even subjective. But it probably and most likely will not get you a better performance. Now, with that in mind, here are a few things you can do before you're recording so that you don't have to obsess over mic technique at all. Number 1, choose a mic that's right for your environment. If you have a poorly treated room or a somewhat echoey room, go for a dynamic microphone. SM7B, SM57, SM58. Dynamic microphones don't react with your room as much as condenser microphones. And especially if you're using a condenser microphone, it's handy to practice singing slightly past the mic, like you see me doing here, as opposed to right into the mic, because these mics respond generally better to a slightly off-axis sound. Number 2, don't be a slave to the one-take mentality. Now, I enjoy doing one-take covers a lot. I've done several of them on this channel, but I don't practice them as one takes. And that's the pitfall that recording vocalists fall into. They will try to learn a song by practicing it as a one take or an almost one take. They have this chip on their shoulder from the very beginning. And as a result, they never really get to know the song. I recommend, as someone who's been on both sides, as a producer and as a vocalist, and both, when you're learning a song, even if your end goal is to be a one take performance, go line by line and record it. Experiment with how you want to deliver each line and program that muscle memory into your voice. Here's what one of my practice tracks looks like when I'm figuring out what I want to do with my voice over a particular song. Hundreds of punches. Then I go back and sing with myself, with this pieced together take, to further develop the muscle memory I was programming while taking it piece by piece. Also realize that most of the vocal performances you've grown to know and love, unless they specifically say one take or are live, are composed and comped from multiple takes.
Don't talk about me like how you might know how I feel. Top of the world, but your world isn't real.
When we're comparing our recorded vocals, or what we think we can do in one take after practicing the song a few times through in the studio, when we're comparing those to vocals that we love on our favorite albums, we have no chance. Oftentimes, professionally recorded vocals on albums are a product of hours or sometimes even days per song to get things just right from a performance standpoint, a connected standpoint, and a production standpoint. You will be amazed at how learning a song and recording a song line by line super mindfully will program your mind and body to be able to do that very song in one take. Trust me on this. And number 3, don't get trapped by good technique. When you're laying down vocals in the studio, this is your time to connect with your art. It's your time to summon the emotions that you were feeling when you wrote the song and to make those a reality. If you're too focused on the technical aspects of your performance, you might get a really good, boring, sterile, awkward sounding vocal on your recordings. Now notice, I'm not saying don't use good technique. What I'm saying is that you must be well rehearsed, well practiced, well warmed up enough so that when you go into the studio to record, you don't have to think about technique. You don't have to think about being warmed up. You can use those sensations and recall the muscle memory and recall the rehearsal that you've done almost unconsciously so that you can emote and connect with your art, with your song, with whatever song you're singing. This number 3 is a mindset check, and only you can really answer this question while you're in the studio. If you find yourself trying to be good instead of being real, that's a pretty good indication. If you can listen back to something and go, oh, that moved me. It wasn't quite right, but it really moved me. This is what we all love in our favorite vocal performances. If you can release control and allow yourself not to do these 3 things when you go into the studio, your vocal recordings are going to jump through the roof in terms of quality and interest and energy. I wish this for you. Again, if you would like more help developing your voice so that you can get great recordings, click that link below in the pinned comment or the video description. And for more vocal recording tips, you'll really appreciate this playlist. We'll see you for more.